Welcome to Pleasantview. A lot has happened in 25 years. Mortimer Goth made his fortune, the Pleasants put down roots, and a new generation of Sims was born. But the peaceful, happy existence is in jeopardy when some new arrivals to Pleasantview start stirring up trouble, creating rivalries and tensions for all the families in the neighborhood. Can anything be done to restore the peace to sleepy, idyllic Pleasantview? Come along with me while we acquaint ourselves with each and every household to discover the answer to that question. Next up, the Oldies. This couple had been sadly discarded into the family bin, but I have kindly dusted them off and placed them lovingly into their rightful residence, right here on 210 Sim Lane. Oh, and about their high net worth, pay no mind. It will be adjusted accordingly. The Oldies are simply one of the nicest families around. Their years together through good and bad have made them into the wonderful parents and grandparents they are today. For decades, they have spent their days side by side in reliability, serenity, predictability, and utter boredom. But today is a different kind of day for the Oldies. Today is the day that they begin to live a completely different kind of life. Let's take a look.
Melove selebe dončuš, elebada melemen nöküs. Nena moleminde sau, ova kendi soda nitoşoş.
Morsaton.
Melove selebe dončuš, elebada melemen nöküs. Melove selebe dončuš, elebada melemen nöküs. Ve selebe dončuš, elebada
Oh, Kennedy.
Emolasi de balandaka palayda. Mesobarete kofono. Öyle
Slagorch.
Kerudo.
The Oldies are the quintessential older couple. They have lived in Pleasantview for most of their lives and are well liked among the townsfolk. But like most Sims who've been in long-term relationships, the Oldies have had their bumps and brushes, and somewhere along the way, they may have lost the spark that brought them together all those years ago. Will they be able to rekindle their once impenetrable flame? We'll find out today. But first, let's dissect these two golden agers and see what makes them tick, starting with Oldie. One thing we'll see right off the bat is that old, reliable Herb is, in fact, a romance sim, even though all his wants and fears revolve only around his wife Coral. But this old flame's lifetime want to woohoo with 20 different Sims tells a whole different tale. As he is an elder with his clock running low, I doubt he'll ever accomplish this want, but that doesn't mean that old Herb can't try. If being a crafty businessman, loving father, and reasonably reliable husband takes a lot of energy, then Herb Oldie has led an exhausting life. Reasonably reliable, eh? Herb is a Libra, and he's incredibly sloppy and lazy. This is balanced out by his extreme playfulness and outgoing nature. He's also pretty nice, so all in all, Herb Oldie appears to be a fairly stand-up fella, even with those romantic wants of his. Herb is a retired executive, collecting a 200 simoleon pension, and his prior career has given him 4 skill points in charisma, and 3 points each in logic and creativity. His interests include food, entertainment, health, culture, weather, and travel. And even though he's quite old, he still needs to find himself a proper hobby. Herb is quite taken with mechanical Sims who wear makeup, but they absolutely cannot be unemployed. Jumping into his memories tells us that Herb's life has been very uneventful. He learned all his toddler skills, began seeing Coral as a teen, and, of course, waited to woohoo until after marriage. One interesting thing to note is that his very next memory tells of an adoption that took place, that of none other than Mary Sue Pleasant. Yes, Herb and Coral had adopted Mary Sue after they found out that they were unable to conceive. And even though all of Herb's memories regarding commitment to Coral are negative, he was absolutely ecstatic to welcome Mary Sue into their lives. The Oldies have always treated Mary Sue as their very own daughter, and strived to give her the best life they possibly could. We also see that Herb taught Mary Sue the majority of her skills, including how to use the potty, how to talk, and how to study properly. Even though this was Herb's little girl, he was happy for her when she married Daniel and bore to them 2 lovely grandchildren, and likewise sad to hear that the marriage recently fell to bits. Another interesting thing to see is that, even though Herb is a romance sim, he has never once cheated on Coral, even with that want to woohoo with 20 Sims. Maybe now he feels like he should explore his options, now that his time in Pleasantview is limited. Now, let's head over to Coral and see how she's handling her elder stage. Unlike Herb, Coral is a family sim, a matron, with a lifetime want to raise 20 puppies or kittens. That's a whole awful lot of furry companions, But then again, both Coral and Herb have the want to obtain a pet. As the picture of maternal perfection, Coral has raised a successful, beautiful daughter, but at what cost? I feel like Coral may also feel like something's missing in her life. Coral is a Virgo, and as a Virgo, she's pretty neat, active, and nice. She is, however, quite shy and a bit more serious than she is playful. Even though Herb dislikes unemployed Sims, that didn't stop him from marrying one. Instead of pushing pencils, Coral has spent the majority of her days raising their daughter and keeping the house spick and span, a job in and of itself, especially with Herb's sloppy habits. But now that Mary Sue is long gone, Coral feels as though she's missed out on a big portion of her life. Still, that didn't stop Coral from obtaining a few skill points along the way. 1 in cooking, 1 in charisma, and 2 in cleaning. Coral's interests include food, entertainment, culture, and travel. But surprisingly, she doesn't hold a whole lot of interest in animals. Like her husband, she also doesn't currently have a hobby. But no worries, Coral. We'll find you one. Coral is quite taken with Sims who wear makeup and have a little extra to love, but they absolutely cannot have red hair. Maybe it reminds her too much of that good-for-nothing Daniel Pleasant. Jumping into her memories will show us practically the exact same thing as Herb's, without all the negativity from committing to one sim, of course. The only real difference is that she taught Mary Sue how to walk, but other than that, her memories are very cookie-cutter typical. Poor Coral. So, there we have them, the oldies in all of their olden, golden glory. And I don't know about you, but I'd say it's about time we give them a little something extra to look forward to. What do you say? But before we do that, I'm just going to quickly calculate their secondary aspirations so we can spawn new ones for the both of them. Herb has the highest in romance, but since he's already a romance sim, I'm going to give him the next in line, which is popularity. Surprisingly, Coral also scored the highest in romance, so that'll already make the oldies a whole lot more interesting. Next, I'm just going to spawn the legendary ACR adjuster and give to it a rightful place in the oldie household. Beautiful. And now, with all that said and done, we are ready to play. As soon as Herb is done telling his dirty joke to Coral, we are going to have him head over to the phone and send them on a nice long vacation to get their fires rekindled, and it looks like they're definitely gonna need it, because they have both just fallen out of love with each other. I don't know what kind of dirty joke Herb just planted on Coral, but she did not take well to it at all, and now they've both gone into aspiration failure. Dang it, Herb. How dare you joke with your wife? Their therapists have just arrived to help them out of their funk. That is some mighty fine therapy right there. Well, it looks like their therapists have done their duty, and Herb is going to again try his luck with a romantic interaction with Coral. Let's cross our fingers and hope this one goes better than the first. Aw, there we go. We're back on track. So with that little breakdown behind them, Herb is going to head on over to the phone to book them that much-needed vacation. The cab has arrived, and the oldies have packed their bags and are all ready for their tropical trip overseas. Welcome to Twikkii Island, the vacation destination for the ages. The oldies are arriving at Potterhouse Bungalows and must now choose their suite of choice. This one looks pretty suitable to me, right next to the beach. So now what we're going to do is send Herb to the desk to reserve it for them, and finally get the oldie adventure underway. Well, this is certainly not what I had in mind, but, I mean, can you blame her? Meanwhile, Herb has decided to invest his time into building a sandcastle, and just look at that wonderful creation. Not that sandcastles and, staring aren't fun, but we're gonna have the oldies do something a little bit more exciting. Coral has the want to go on a tour, so we're gonna have her ask this nifty tour guide to take us on a journey and hopefully get this vacation to pick up a little. After the oldies are briskly whisked away into the nethers, we get a pop-up. As soon as the boat picks up full speed, the rope that connects the boat and the parachute starts tearing, and a few seconds later, the parachute is sailing freely. Should the group steer the chute, or let the wind determine the destination? Steer the parachute? You know what? Let's steer the parachute. Let's see where that takes us. The parachute isn't really meant to be steered, and every attempt to guide it maneuvers it away from the beach and into the mainland. Landing in the jungle, the group has to fight its way back into civilization. The hard work and the heat gets everyone a point of body skill. Oh, hell yeah! The oldies have returned, and it looks like both Herb and Coral thoroughly enjoyed their trip. This vacation was worth every penny. It's nice to finally unwind a little. Unfortunately, however, they're both really old and already need a rest. Well, they are old after all. Another wonder of being old. Well, now that they're awake, we may as well have Coral call up some room service for some tasty traditional grub. The fried bananas are here, and Coral and Herb are going to partake in something that is, for once, not cornbread. Herb, you're making me a little uncomfortable there, buddy. Coral and Herb have decided to go get themselves some drinks to commemorate this vacation, the first they've ever had. Coral is talking to him about time, about marriage, and about Mary Sue. Must be about her divorce with Daniel. Herb has the want to woohoo in a hammock, so let's have him go relax so Coral can come on over and take care of some business.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Me, you, there.
Oh,
Ho ho ho, he goes. The hammock's had just about enough of this. Out you are, Coral. I like how they just did their dirty deed with the bartender right there. But her, she sees no woohoo, speaks no woohoo, hears no woohoo. Well, it's day 2 of their vacation, and Herb and Coral have just woken up and are immediately fawning over each other. These romance sims, even age can't stop them. I feel so bad for this guy. He's like, I'm out of here, man. The taxi has arrived to take the oldies to the boardwalk, heading in the completely opposite direction from where it actually is, which is right next to the bungalows. See? There they are, right over there. But no matter. Coral is being entertained by the fire dancer, while Herb tips the human statue. You're a good man, Herb. Well, it looks like the oldies are engaging in a heated game of pool, and Herb just missed his shot. Could have done better, but let's see how Coral does. She's pretty bad too. Well, it's getting late, and it's about time for the oldies to return to the bungalows, but not before they have a little fun in the photo booth. Oh yeah. Well, now that they've floated their boat, let's get them back before they pass out on the sidewalk. I've had enough of those to last me a lifetime. For day 3 of the oldies vacation, I'm gonna send them down to South End Beach to have a little bit of fun on the pirate ship. Hey, you're never too old to play pirates. And it looks like Herb feels the same way I do, and he's gonna start us off by walking the plank as soon as he gets his old ass up there. Well, here he goes. Better wish ol' Herb good luck. Ooh, oh! Don't die on me now, bud. After that very frightening ordeal of almost ending up swimming with the fishies, it looks like Herb has decided to steer towards safer waters by manning the wheel, while Coral climbs the crow's nest in search of new, shiny treasures. Ah, yes, magnificent. As Coral descends from her loft, Herb, it seems, has found his wits and, feeling brazen, has decided to fend off the mighty dummy with his cutlass while Coral plunders the captain's cabin. Oh yeah, swing that sword, Herb. Drats, nothing. But fear not. It is time for Herb to raise the Jolly Roger, so that all may know and fear the new captain of this dread ship. You better buckle those swashes, for Herb Oldie has taken over. Meanwhile, Coral refuses to leave the ship empty-handed, and is off to plunder that cabin yet again. Nope. Looks like she's just out of luck. Herb's social took a huge nosedive, so he decided to mingle with the locals. Unfortunately, he didn't get to them in time, and now his social bunny is here. I mean, just look at this thing. It's a stuff of nightmares. Just look at it. It's missing its goddamn eye. Well, maybe it's not so bad. I just have a thing with eyes. It's starting to get a little bit late, so we're gonna have to send the oldies back to their suite soon. But first, Coral is going to purchase a souvenir so she can bring a piece of Twikkii back home to Pleasantview with her, while Herb learns a new massage technique. Maybe he can practice on Coral back at home if we get them a massage table. Well, it's time for the oldies to get that rest in and prepare for another wonderful day on vacation. Good thing for us, they are far from running out of things to do. For their 3rd day at Twikkii, we're going to send them to Fruitville Village, where Herb is going to buy himself some jewelry. Well, that's new. Okay then. I guess the charlatan has been in his suit a little too long. After Coral peruses the fresh fruits and makes a few purchases to bring back home with her, we're gonna send the oldies to one more lot. Seawater Beach Paradise. Oh, cut it out, Herb. The road is fine. After Herb quits his groveling, we're just gonna take his whiny old butt down to the beach so he and Coral can sing their little old hearts out. Well, here they go. Let's listen in and see how they sound.
No! God, please, no! No!
After all the Sims on Twikkii Island have had the pleasure of hearing that beautiful rendition, we're gonna have the oldies go and grab a bite to eat. Far away from each other, I guess. Uh-oh. He just spilled the food all over Coral. Herb's waitress is just fine, though. Well, here he came with her dish finally, and oh god, no. Don't even Coral's getting so pissed. Well, third time's the charm, I guess. At least now Coral can finally eat. Herb, get out of their damn seat! Well, it's about time for the oldies to head on back once more. This is the last day of their vacation, and today they're gonna head down to the majestic ruins of Jumbok 4. There's not much for the oldies to do here, except get floaty with a bubble blower. After blowing the day away, Coral attempts to call a taxi, but, wets herself instead. Dang, what a jerk. And it doesn't take long for Herb to follow suit. Must have really good aim. Now that they both smell to high heaven, we're gonna send them home, get them all cleaned up, and give them one final Twikkii Island woohoo. It's the next morning, and Herb needs to get on over to the reception desk to check out. It's time for them to pack their bags and head back to Pleasantview. Even though they're hesitant to leave, this vacation will stay with them for years to come. And who knows, maybe they'll return for another adventure. After all, there are mysteries to be had here on the island. Maybe it just takes an oldie to find them.
Kere mesi na balete. Mece petubidis, pareta. Huh? Oh, it's of course. Crazy. Tama na ya.
Maglibadan!
Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this intro, please be sure to leave a like and maybe even a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you like this content, and if you're just passing through, I hope you join me again. Next up, we'll be playing Kaylin Langerak, the town maid that's been working her way through Pleasantview. Is she really as loose as the townsfolk think she is? Or is she just trying to find love in all the wrong places? And what about her affairs with Daniel Pleasant and Don Lothario? Does she actually have a chance with either one of them? Or is she just wasting her time until Mr. Right comes along? Check back in soon to find out.